and welcome to another episode at Share Studio. Here we want to bring you value. And if you're always asking yourself, how can I expand to Europe? Why should I expand to Europe? I have one of the best, if not the best. We gotta be a little bit humble, so we have to say one of the best in the industry. My good friend Nick, and he's from Hellotax, and as you can see in the name, Extreme Power Brands as well. Um, Nick is a serial entrepreneur. He has many companies, many brands. He's very successful. I believe he's one of the greatest networkers as well. He's very good at what he does, honestly. And he's going to explain to us why we should go to Europe if you're selling in the US or other marketplaces, or why you should expand to other marketplaces. Nick, the floor is all yours, my man.
Okay, thanks, Rafa. Thanks for the invite. No, it's kind of hot today. It's Prime Day, so it's Prime on. It's hot on Amazon. It's hot off Amazon. So it's probably the worst time to do a recording, but you're gonna live on a different day, which is good. So thanks for the introduction. Now I'm gonna tell more about myself, guys. I mean, I'm the co-founder of Extreme Power Brands, like partnership advisor of Hellotax and like 30 other companies in the ecom space, and I've been remote since 2010. And what I have been doing is that for 10 years I was running an ecom business in Europe, and right now through one of my companies, we're actually helping companies to expand to Europe. And actually, Rafa disappeared. Okay, Rafa, I was just saying that you just disappeared, but you just appeared again. So don't worry, no. I did my introduction so we can continue it. Actually, Rafa just said no that I'm actually somebody who helps companies to expand in Europe. So I do a lot of things. I'm not going to talk about all of them. I have a partner agency. I run a newsletter with like 28,000 sellers. I'm organizing hack series. Rafa was guest on the last one. He almost won the hack series. No, he was a runner-up.
Thanks, man.
Yeah. You were first, or you're first on the live, and on the recording you were second. But anyways, I mean, I'm gonna. Yeah. Anyways, we're gonna have like two prizes, like one for the live session, one for the recording. But that's what we do. We kind of create content. We help sellers, and since I've been selling in Europe myself for like 10 years, I had like 20 supplement brands, which we scaled from like 5K initial investment to 25 million. At the peak, we sold everything. So I know from experience now how it works to expand in Europe. And the first question that you guys should ask is, do you go on vacation in Europe? 98% of you are gonna say yes, probably. Right? People go on vacation in Europe. Rafa, I'm sure you've been here. Many of the people who have businesses, they've been to Europe. They've been to France, Italy, Spain, and on average, you guys have spent 2K up to 10K for your vacation, right? If you tell me that's not right, I don't believe it, guys. And I know how much a vacation costs. I'm travel all the time.
If you stay under a bridge, you could save money.
Yeah, exactly. Now, if you don't come to Europe on vacation, you can save money. But when you tell somebody, okay, let's go on vacation to Europe, they're going to say, of course, man, let's go to Paris, Rome. So you're willing to spend money. Okay, good. If I tell you, let's go and expand your Amazon or ecom business to Europe, you're going to say no. And I actually have a Drake meme where Drake is saying no to the expansion and yes to the vacation. So, okay, exactly. But see, this is the thing. The people don't expand to Europe because they're scared of Europe, because it's a big market. There is a lot of countries, whatever. But I'm going to give you like a stat which should convince anybody that you should at least consider and just check out what it takes to go to Europe. If you sell on Amazon, USA, only 2% of Amazon.com sellers are also selling Europe pan 2%. So 98% of your competitors are not here. So you'll probably ask why. Because a lot of people are scared of Europe. That's the reason. But
the unknown is part of that wall that sometimes the mindset, right, doesn't allow you to go. But it's just the mindset, because it's actually rather easy, or it's easier because you already have established business.
Yeah, exactly. I'll tell everybody, whoever is doing well in the States, Amazon.com, you should consider going to Europe, because Europe, I'll give you some stats, because now I love to share stats. Now, Europe has 750 million population now. 450 million of those are over 18. So, all potential clients.
Yeah.
Europe has the highest average order value in the world, which means if you have a quality product, you can come to Europe, people are gonna buy your product, you can even sell it for more than you do it in the States. Another reason, like in Europe, there is actually less competitors than in the USA, which means that even if you do less revenue or sales compared to the States, you're going to have a higher profit margin because you can sell it for higher, and you can actually have less competitors in the niche. And because of all these things, we actually build like an expansion package called expansion trip. So what we do, we take the Amazon store of any brand. They might have Amazon store, like e-com store, just product idea, and we have partners who are doing the so-called opportunity report. So we can check the market and we can tell, okay, here is the demand for a product, here are your competitors, and you can clearly see in a lot of niches that the competitors in Europe suck. And we've seen a lot of times that like expensive products. Now, the last time we spoke with somebody like yesterday, we're talking about like a supplement, like a veggie supplement in the States. So when we did like the report in Europe, the top product in Europe was selling for 45 euros, which is, and the guy was selling that for 35 in the States. So like over $10 more expensive.
Way more.
And the second, exactly, and the second and the third company in the same category, they're actually twice cheaper, but people are buying this product. So people value like quality products here, which means that if you compete with Chinese sellers, which is the case everywhere, it's harder for Chinese sellers in Europe because Europeans don't care about cheap stuff. They're rather pay.
The mindset is completely different. Like people have to understand. Like even so, like if you have, I don't know, let's just say you're selling supplements, sure, and you're not selling in Europe. Okay, like you just have a new market. Maybe you won't sell as much, but it's a new market. It's something that you weren't doing before. And you already have established brand, you have videos, you have the copywriting. Well, you need to translate different languages. I'm pretty sure Nick can help you with that. So if there's a market there already, why not just attack that market? And that leads me to my first question, Nick, which is if I'm a seller and I want to take at least one step forward and see what's this all about selling overseas and how you can help me, because that comes with a bunch of other questions. I assume tax purposes, where to ship the product, processes. Do I need new SOPs? Do I need new people? Do I need more inventory? Where do I send an inventory? Like a bunch of other questions. Like, what's the first step to take?
Actually, we have like a 5-step process now about expanding Europe. So the first one is you should have a product. But of course, having a product that doesn't guarantee that you're gonna do well in Europe. So that's why we do those opportunity reports. Many of our partners are using Zongur. Some are using Helium 10. You can use any research software.
Do we have to pay as a seller money or a quote for the opportunity?
No. I mean, those opportunity reports are free. No, you just need to submit your Amazon store. And my guys are gonna do it for my partner. So those reports. Sorry.
So it's free. Like you're not losing anything.
Yeah, of course. I mean, you're not.
Right. Like what's the worst can happen? Oh, you're gonna sell $20,000 more? That's beautiful.
No, actually, we're doing that as a favor, and I'll tell why we're doing it, because I know that people don't want to go to Europe because they don't know what is the potential. So instead of talking about like all the compliance stuff, which of course they need to do, first we show them what is the opportunity. If there is demand for a product, you can see clearly, how many people are searching for the main keywords, how many people are searching for like the top keywords, whatever. So you can clearly see how much revenue are the guys in your category doing. You can see if their listings are good. This is where you guys can help. You can just compare what the competitors are doing, and you can clearly see how some of the competitors are not doing anything special. So they can.
Question. How long does that process take? If I give you my brand and I tell you, hey, this is what I want to do, like how long does that usually take for you guys to do?
We have different options because we use different partners. I kind of rotate them based on like the type, because we have different solutions. So for example, we have options where the partner is actually buying your stock and we distribute that across Europe. So, but in general, like in most cases, you send your Amazon store, and if you're based in the States, I'm gonna have one of my partners to call you and do like a live audit on the phone. I mean, they call you and they say, okay, man, that's what we found. If they want to, we can actually provide those reports. So I can even share like a report just to show you how it looks like. But the main thing, let's do that, by the way, just to get understanding of. I call those like opportunity reports. Okay, man. So this, for example, like a report that we did. The guys at AMZ Advisor. So they're actually one of the partners. So There is a
Wait,
guy who is doing
wait.
like
There you go. Now I see. Mighty Plugs Markets Research. Okay,
okay,
there you go.
okay. So this is not what they did for them. Like they're selling earplugs. So like seed keywords, earplugs, bar demand 100%, competition opportunity 45%, like investment sweet spot, revenue potential. So in other words, they're showing like what is the demand like in the last years, how many people are searching for that. No, then like additional keywords, and here, who are your competitors? So you can see, see the example that I gave earlier, like how much monthly revenue are those guys doing, how many reviews they have, monthly sales, and here the price. So this is for the UK. Can you see something? 20, 21 pounds. The second and the third product, see, they're much cheaper, but these guys are taking like big market share. So see, they prefer quality over pricing, here. Oh, those
Yeah.
guys are both cheaper. And of course we do that for Germany, like there is less demand here, but still like buyer demand high. Again, I mean, see, here there's a difference. Like in Germany, the cheap product, but they're extremely cheap, so it's number one. But still, those guys actually see these guys are actually doing again. They're the one who's doing the most revenue. So the same company. So
Yeah.
there is actually a big opportunity for those guys in the States, and of course we do that for like France, like Spain, all the markets. So you can kind of see what is the opportunity for your product. You can even do like a more exact like marketing analysis, and you can see how much money you can make. But then is a is generally what we're seeing is what you do in the States, you can do like 20 to 50% of what you do in the States in Europe. So let's say if you're doing 1 million, you can do like 200K to half a million with higher profit margin. And in some cases, now recently I've met people who are doing actually more in Europe than they're doing in the States, because in the USA it's very competitive. So they're actually doing more in Europe. So we have even such cases.
What I love about that is that that's a source of revenue, income revenue that you're not tapping. It's just there. It's just sitting money. It's like money that's in a pile and you're not grabbing it. It's just there and you're looking at that pile of money and you're like, just leave it there. It's an opportunity that a lot of people, I believe, they should take, or at least take the first step in understanding. Because, for example, I remember when I used to have you remember Blackberries? You remember the BlackBerry
Yeah,
phones?
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah.
So when the iPhone came out, the first one, I didn't change to iPhone. I stayed with BlackBerry. And then the second one, when it came out, I was like, because we're so used, we're animals of customs, of
Hmm.
doing the exact same thing, and we're a little bit biased to change. But I love this opportunity that you just come in and you're like, okay, guys, if you want to sell in Europe, we're gonna give you, all right, the opportunity report, and then you take you take the option of doing it or not. So after that opportunity report, what's the second step? Like, where do we go from there?
Okay, so the first thing, showing you the money. If there's money to be made, they say, okay, man, what are the next steps? So the next steps are the following. We even have like a like a plan for that. So the next thing that you must do, and this is mandatory, is to get the VAT number. So the VAT is like the sales tax in the state. So what you need to do is register for VAT. This is the thing, that if you go to Amazon, Amazon is gonna tell you, okay, Rafa, you wanna sell in Europe, go and get the PANU VAT package. Now, the PANU means that all the like the main marketplace in Europe. So, which means like 5 or 7 VAT. So this is the wrong decision. Don't listen to Amazon. Amazon, they're gonna make more fees from that, but they're not doing you a favor, because if you go with the PANU, you would need to do 5 or 7 VAT registration. This would mean that you're gonna pay like 5 7K just for the VAT per year. You're gonna go into a lot of bureaucracy. You're gonna wait different like periods for each VAT, so you're gonna get frustrated before you even start. So that's why this is actually a hack, for Europe. You don't need all that. You just need one VAT in Germany for the EU and one VAT in UK, because UK is outside the EU after Brexit. So UK VAT is gonna handle the Amazon FBA. You're gonna fulfill sale across Europe, across UK from the UK. And the second VAT in Germany, this is gonna be your VAT, which is gonna handle all your sales and all your shipment across the EU. And here is the reason why we recommend Germany, by the way. You have a question, Rafa, I think.
Yeah. So no, just excuse me, just in case for reference. So VAT is the EIN number. And remember, the Europe is European Union, means that it's a union of all the European countries. So that's why he's saying just one. You need one for Germany. after the Brexit, which was that crazy thing that went in the UK, right, and in England. That's why you need now a separate number for England, all right, for the UK. So let's just make sure that we have that understanding. You don't need all of them. You just need one. And now he's gonna explain to us why you need the German one.
Yeah, actually, I mean, the reason why you need Germany is because first, Germany is the second biggest Amazon market. So naturally, now if you say on .com, you go to the second one, which is Germany. Then another thing that why Germany is a good market is because Germany is located in the center of Europe, which means that you can hold your stock there. Like imagine like Austin, Texas. Like Texas, now a lot of guys use Texas as they're like free PO because now you can get your stuff delivered at the same time to the East Coast and West Coast. So perfect dispatch location. So this is like imagine like Austin, Texas, or like Texas, let's say. Another thing, like Germans, if you're like an English speaking company, you don't need to translate your documents. So they accept documents in English, which is a big plus. Don't
Super
need to worry about translation. And the one thing, like fiscal representation, insurance. Some countries in Europe require you to pay like an extra fee. So you say in Europe as a non-EU company, just like a guarantee that you're gonna pay your VAT. You don't need to worry about that because Germany doesn't require that. Then another good thing, as a non-EU company, you don't need to register a company in Europe. So you don't need an EU entity. You're gonna set up like Amazon, VAT. Amazon is gonna collect the VAT that they actually collect from the sales from Europe that we're doing across Europe, and they're gonna pay that to the tax authority. So it's in a way it's super easy for non-EU companies, especially US companies, to sell in Europe because US companies have an advantage in Europe. There is a specific tax authority which deals with US company applications for the VATs, which means you guys are gonna get the VAT quicker compared to, let's say, the Chinese sellers and even the UK sellers, which are they were been in the EU recently. So
Yeah.
and the reason for that is because this is how Germany works. Turkish companies, they have a Turkish tax authority for issuing VAT. Chinese guys, they have a China, and because there is huge demand on the China side, Chinese sellers wait longer. So these are a few of the things that you should consider about why you should go to Germany. And then you say, okay, then I start selling across Europe. So what you're gonna do is you set up the VAT because the rule in Europe is like that you hold your product in a specific country. You would need to have a VAT number there. So this is what happens. You can actually set up all the Amazon marketplace across Europe, and people from Amazon Spain, Amazon Italy, Amazon Netherlands, Amazon Poland, they can actually buy your product from the Amazon from Amazon. They don't need to have VATs in all those markets. So what happens? You hold your stock in Amazon API in Germany, rough orders from Spain, you make delivery from Germany to Spain. You're gonna pay a little more for the shipment, but you're gonna kind of test the markets, and then you're gonna follow the demand. Eventually, you're gonna see, okay, man, the French are buying my stuff like crazy. So what happens is the second step, you branch out and you set up a second VAT in France to be closer to your client. So whenever people purchase your product on Amazon France, they make the delivery from France. So you kind of spread your like a spider web. You
Yeah,
just spread your web.
I love that it's a step-by-step process, so it doesn't overwhelm new users, right? So it's
Exactly.
super smart because, like, now you're like, okay, Germany, which is the second biggest market. The first market is the UK, if I'm not mistaken. Last numbers that I checked was the UK. So if Germany is the second biggest market, and then France, like you said, they love your supplement or your earplugs, and now you're seeing that a lot, 20% of your sales, I don't know, 30% of your sales are going there. Now you can take that step forward, which is gonna be a little bit more complicated, but at least you know the demand is there. So that's like money for sure.
Exactly. And I've been doing that myself. We had like 20 supplement brands, and even though we've been doing that for all our supplements before, whenever we're launching a new one, always we did the same step, like country after country. We follow the demand and we expand like that, because otherwise it would be you'll be making assumptions. And when people get super confident, they make mistakes. So never make assumptions. Go step by step. Now, of course, some big companies, they have deep pockets, they can do that, but still, even if you can afford that, that's not the smart way, because why should you bother with setting up a VAT in a market if you don't know if there is demand for that?
Yeah.
Because you should never assume that people are gonna like your stuff, because whenever you set up your account, this is where we actually go to the next step. So VAT is mandatory. You want to sell on Amazon, you want to sell anywhere like Shopify, eBay, doesn't matter. You must have VAT. That's it. So, but it's getting easier and easier to get that. It's gonna become even easier in like years. You're gonna have like one VAT for the whole EU without the need to actually have multiple VATs for multiple countries. But right now, it's still
Just in case, so everybody's on the same page. Can you explain to us what VAT is? I assume it's for taxes, correct?
VAT is like sales tax. So sales
Correct.
tax, the equivalent of Europe is VAT, value added tax. So whenever somebody is buying that, now that's like 20% on top of what you're selling. So usually you need to calculate that beforehand, which means if you're selling something for 20 euros in Europe, you need to sell that for, let's say, 25. So the
Okay.
$5, this is gonna be collected by Amazon, is gonna pay to the tax authority. So
Correct.
so this is how it works. It's roughly around 20% across the EU. Of course, it's a little different. In Hungary, it's like 27. In Germany, it's like 19. But just to make it simple, it's around 20%. And that's why we have like Hellotax, because we calculate all that, so you don't need to worry about those things.
That's beautiful, man.
So
So what's the next step after that? After expansion, is there another step
yeah,
or?
yeah. So after the VAT, for the VAT, you're gonna wait probably 2-3 months to get the VAT number. You cannot sell before you get the VAT number. So in the meantime, you go with the next step. So the second step, which is also mandatory, is the product compliance. So no matter what you're saying, selling, we have a partner who is gonna do a product compliance check. So what we're doing is we're gonna check, if there's any special requirements for the labels, for the ingredients, and then if you're a non-EU company, you would need to have an EU responsible person. So this guy is gonna be responsible. You're gonna put his company name on your label. So whenever there's any inquiry or anything in regards to the product components, they're have as a backup. They're gonna deal with all the stuff. But this is mandatory, and the product components takes like few weeks the most, usually around a week. So VAT is where you wait the longest, but VAT and product components are the two must do's, if you sell in Europe.
Yeah, if you don't get those, you won't be able to sell. It's just standard.
Exactly. The product components you won't be able to import if you're a non-EU company if you don't have a responsible person. So it's simple as that. Amazon is not going to allow you to import those stuff. So VAT, product components, those are the two mandatory things. Like step 3, logistics, because no matter what you do, you need to move your stock either from your manufacturer in the States or in China. For
Yeah.
China, we have actually an option with a guy who has a warehouse in China. They hold your stock there, and they drip feed stock to your FBA, like in this case Europe, but they do that globally in any Amazon marketplace, and they do that to actually improve your cash flow, because otherwise you would need to actually make a huge order from manufacturer and keep that in a prep center across somewhere in Europe, for example. So logistics. I mean, what you guys are doing in the States, you're gonna do that in Europe as well. So move your stock to
So
Europe.
you guys literally just help the seller just take over the process. Like it's just adding more inventory and shipping it to a different place. But you guys help them do all these steps, which are a lot. Obviously, they are a lot. Like there's, but everything that's worth it, everything that's not easy is worth it, and everything and vice versa, right? So everything that's worth it is not usually easy. So at least you have them to guide you along the way. That how many? Just out of curiosity, like how many companies have you taken from the US to Europe?
Around like 200 since we started doing that.
So
So
200. So I can say definitely that he has a little bit of experience, 200 plus companies under his belt experience, which is a lot. Um, so you'll be in good hands, dude. All right.
yeah,
So
and I've been doing that myself. I mean, so before I did that, I was doing that myself, but now I have like a much bigger network, because see, whenever somebody comes and they want help, sometimes they don't need everything, but we have the steps. So do you have this handled? A lot of times they say, okay, this is taken care of. For example, I spoke with a guy like doing 100 million in the States, and they were moving like 2,000 SKUs from the States to Europe. And the guy who was doing the product compliance told him that he doesn't need product compliance in Europe. Imagine what. So they couldn't sell anything for 6 months. So
yeah,
then I connected him with my guy who is an expert in that, and he sent me an email. Hey Nick, your guy is a lifesaver. I wish I met him like 6 months ago or whatever. So that's why we have those steps. You don't need to listen to us, but we're gonna tell, okay, this is how it works. Here is a partner A, here is a partner B, here is a partner C. You can do whatever you want. I mean, we're not forcing anybody, but keep in mind that, I mean, if you don't do that, eventually your competitors are gonna do that. I mean, it's nature. I mean, Amazon is growing. Recently, for example, today I did like my weekly post, and Amazon Europe has 1.5 billion monthly visits. Not sure how many there are in the States, but 1.5 billion. No, that's a lot. So
It's a lot.
Amazon is pushing the marketplace, so people are coming and they're looking for products. So if you're not there, they're not gonna buy your product. It's simple as that. So
Yeah. No, it's true. It's true.
uh,
Like the money is there on the table. You just have to extend your hand and grab the money. Is it easy to extend the hand? No, but at least there's people in place that can help you. And
exactly.
the most important question is, what do they pay towards you or the partners? Because I feel like a lot of people are gonna be like, okay, this sounds really great, but it's not free. Nothing is free in life.
Yeah, yeah, of course, not free. No, you're gonna pay the max as much you spend on vacation in Europe. So if you spend like 10 on vacation, you can skip one vacation. You can expand in Europe. You can make like half a million, then you can do like bigger vacation extra. It sounds like a joke, but that's a reality because
It's
I'll,
reality.
gi- I'll give you like a ballpark of the pricing. So VAT is gonna cost you at the beginning like 500 euro per year. Once you start making sales, once you hit like 500 sales, you're gonna bump to like 1,000 euro per year. So let's say 2,000 euro for the VAT compliance in UK and Germany, and this is gonna cover a full year like filing, reporting, and all the compliance stuff. You just forget about VAT because we connect to your Amazon account, we pull the data, we file the reports, and you don't worry about anything. Amazon collects the money, so that's it. So this is the VAT compliance. Then the second thing, product compliance. You're gonna pay around 750 per year for the responsible person. So what's that like? 2,700, like let's say like 3K. So all those pricing is with discounts because we all the guys that were in the package we kind of give away over 3K in discount. So let's say 3K for the VAT and product compliance. Logistics, then of course it depends who you're using. I cannot tell you the price about that, but you need to move your stock to Europe. Uh, so localization and translation. So obviously, I mean, you know that better than me because you're experts in that. No, if you go to a new market, you need to localize your listing. You need to translate them. Few things that a lot of guys don't know in Europe is that in Germany there is like 7 million Turkish speakers. So if you sell in Germany, there's 80 million people there. So German keywords, you must have Turkish keywords as well. And you need like local parts who can help with all that, like Spanish, even for the UK. The UK say practice, you guys say training, or the other way around. Like people you don't use like mate, lot, or all this kind of stuff. So they use that in the UK. So even for like English speaking countries, you need to localize that. So usually the price for that is not more than like 500 US dollars. So you're looking into like 3,500 for the VAT compliance, product compliance, localization, logistics. It depends of how much stock you're gonna order, but of course you need to order stock. You need to sell that. Then the other option is all the guys who are doing all the marketing, like opportunity reports, they can also handle your expansion. And depending on your budget, this could cost from like 1,000 US dollars up to, of course, I mean up to as much. Of course, there are some guys who are charging like 10K. So it depends of who you want to work with and what's your budget. Of course, you can also manage that in house. So you can just help with the compliance stuff, which is VAT product compliance, and then you can guys handle and manage the growth yourself. Or we even have an option where but not for all brands. I mean, you need to have like 1,000 reviews in the States and to have like a rating of over 4. And we have a partner who is actually willing to distribute who is willing to buy your products and sell them across their channel. So in this case, you risk anything. You can sell, let's say, 2K, 5K, 10,000 units of your product. Those guys are gonna sell them on their behalf through their channels, for their VATs. And actually, this is a very smart way that we've been doing recently because even if you don't want to like invest any money, you can use this partner. They can buy your stock if they like it. They're gonna sell that because they don't have long-term contracts. They're gonna validate the market. And if you see that those guys are doing well, they're just gonna say, okay, man, I wanna do it myself. So we even have partners who are gonna do this. If you're gonna sell your product, of course they're gonna buy it on a wholesale price and gonna test the market for you.
Course. So basically, there's like almost like kind of risk free, meaning that you don't even have to invest.
It's
Like
it's risk free. I mean, they don't risk anything because they have their own VATs. They deal with the product component. So what you do
they're
is
gonna
when you're
pay,
gonna sell,
and they're gonna pay for the inventory. Like
exactly,
this,
they're gonna buy your stock.
I understand that it's a discount price, obviously.
Yeah,
So
of course, of
basically
course.
you just would be selling, basically just selling a whole price, a wholesale price to somebody who's gonna sell your product in Europe. Basically, that's it.
Exactly, exactly. But the good thing is because because it's a ex aggregator, by the way, this one of the aggregators who is profitable, so they switched and became an accelerator. So they're one of the partners that is offering this channel. But the thing here is that they've been doing that themselves. They're gonna do the product component. So it's like I said, it's risk free. I mean, they buy your stock, they sell that. And at the beginning, I said, okay, guys, why don't you have a long term contract? And they said, we don't want that. So what they do is they can sell your products for like a few months. You can obviously see if they're selling that. So if they're selling well, you can just cancel the contract and you can do it yourself. So there's other people who are gonna test, you know, and they know why they do that, because they know that some people are never gonna go through it because they're scared. So they would rather have somebody buy their stock and distribute that, which is why a lot of companies are doing that. I mean, they find
That's
distributors, so they're actually using the success of a brand to make money from your brand in Europe, because you can transfer the reviews. No, this applies for everybody. A lot of guys probably don't know. Let's say if you have, let's say, 20,000 reviews, you start selling on Amazon Europe, you're gonna transfer those reviews. So you're not a newbie. You're
yeah.
gonna have
Oh,
20,000 reviews.
this is basically like super, like, I mean, it's a no-brainer, literally. Like, those offers that are so good that you cannot say no, or you ask like, okay, what's the catch? So my question to you the following: what is the catch? Is there any catch? Should
Yeah, I mean,
sell
the cage it's more than the states, and it's harder. I mean, because no, it's much easier to sell in the states. I mean, I've never actually claimed that it's easier, but USA is the biggest market and it's the most competitive, which means that everybody wanna be there, and profits are going down. And at the end, no, you
they
care
are
about the profit. No, if you wanna exit your company, like the M&A guys, they don't care about your revenue. They say, okay, how much is your profit? How much is your fancy word EBITDA?
yeah,
Because if your profit is low, they're gonna give you like a valuation which doesn't make money. So
yeah, very low.
profitability is the key. I mean, so Europe is smaller market, but like I said, like 20 to 50% of what you're doing. So let's say if you're doing 100 million now, if you're doing like 20 million or 50 million now,
That's
would it
beautiful.
would it make sense to do the stretch now just to deal with this like VAT, whatever? But it's not that hard. And in Amazon, they're making it easier now. They're changing the legislation, so it's gonna get easier and easier. And guess what? When it gets very easy, you might be late.
Yeah,
Because it's good to start when most of your competitors are not doing that. And I've seen more and more companies now, because see, my newsletter, we have like 28,000 servers. So every week we send an email. Okay, want to expand in Europe? We hand the different copies, and more and more people are actually asking about
my
it. Of
my
course,
my very good friend, and this with this I want just to add something for people who might be like cautious about it. My very very good friend Carlos Alvarez, very successful Amazon seller, entrepreneur overall, made over hundreds of millions of dollars on Amazon. He always told me, Rafa, because everybody's saying that you shouldn't do electronics, that you shouldn't do delicates, that you shouldn't do glass, that you shouldn't do this because it's very hard. It means that it's better because there's less competition, and that's the exact same thing that's happening in Europe right now. The good thing is that you have people like Nick that already done it 200 times, right? They can grab you by the hand and tell you, okay, this is what you should do: A, B, and C. Go talk to this guy, go do this, and you'll at least get a profit, or you'll get a revenue increase 10, 15, 20%, which is, if you're making $1 million a year, it's $200,000. Would it hurt to have $200,000 extra in your bank account to pay employees, to pay payroll, etc.? Yes, you're gonna have more expenses. It's normal, but you have to calculate obviously your expenses. But it's 20% more. It's I would love 20% more year over year. You
yeah,
know?
exactly. And just think about, look around yourself. No matter where you live, like Starbucks, McDonald's, Coco, those guys are not doing business in the USA only. So
Yeah,
they're global. So
yeah,
if you want to become like succeed and make in all also like, if you go global or an omni-channel. So if you don't want to go to Europe, then you should go to Walmart, TikTok. Even if they ban that, they're going social commerce is going to stay. You don't want Europe is too far away. You go to Canada, go to Mexico, like South America, Latin, big market,
yeah.
even bigger opportunity than Europe, much earlier. So you should think about expanding, because you cannot expect that you're gonna do the same. You're always gonna be on top. So
That's 100% right.
expanding to new market is how you should go global, like the big brands, and that's how you should think,
Yeah.
about your business.
Everything that's worth it is usually not easy, and that's what you have to do. Nick, any final thoughts? Because we're wrapping up the 40-minute mark, and I don't like viewers to get bored seeing my face.
Yeah, my advice is just like Nike, just do it. Don't think too much about if it's gonna work out. Not. I'm like that. I never think too much. I just test it. I have an idea, I test that. So, and the thing is, no, it doesn't cost you anything to see what is the opportunity. So my advice is check out what is the opportunity. You can. Many of you guys are using like Helium 10 Zongo. It doesn't matter what you use. You can easily see what is the opportunity. There.
Or if not, send an email to Nick, which we're gonna leave in the comments, or he's gonna say it in a bit, and just he'll do the work for free, literally, and tell you, hey, you can use this, you can do this. This is the opportunity here. This is the opportunity here. So Nick, how can people reach out to you, man? Because if I'm already working with you, so
you guys can just send me an email at mp, like my name, Nick Penny, at hellotax.com. Send me an email with your name, Amazon store, and I'm gonna have my guys to the report. If you're in the States, share your phone number. I'm gonna have somebody to call and do like a live report, like an opportunity report for you. So we're gonna tell you if there is demand, because sometimes there is no demand, which means that you need to create that, which is harder. But most of the time there is demand for what we're selling. So that's how it works.
I was muted. All right, I love that, man. I love that. So make sure that you go, and it's literally free, guys. Like, it's literally free. And if you don't want to invest into inventory, there's somebody else who is willing to pay you a discounted price, obviously, because they're taking all the risk. So either way, you're making money. Either like it's impossible for you not to make money. It's literally there. It's like literally there. Just go and grab it. Nick, man, thank you so much for your time, my friend. I really appreciate all the help that you've brought my company, my team, all the connections. Nick knows everybody, guys, like literally everybody. So believe me, if he can help, if nobody else can help you, Nick can help you. Believe me.
Yeah, I have partners for everything. Even though I meet like 30 new guys each month, but I have a cool guys like Rafa. So like I said, don't be afraid to actually ask. We have a saying in Bulgaria: you can go to Rome by asking questions. So don't be afraid to ask questions.
That's a good saying, actually. Like, all the roads lead to Rome, and you can get to Rome by asking questions.
Exactly.
Yes, it is. All right, my friends, thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate it. Remember, this session of it's not a podcast, but it's kind of a podcast. It is sponsored by my good friends at Jungle Scout, which I love them to death. Been working with Jungle Scout for a very, very, very long time, and I highly recommend as well. That's what we do all the day in the studios, actually. So thank you. Until next time, thank you so much for watching. Bye.
Thank you, Rafa. Thanks, everyone.